Oh my god, why is this thing so close every time I pull it out? Hi guys, what's going on and welcome back to my channel. Just had my third meal of the day. As you saw, I had pasta, tuna, mayo and sweet corn. That is like one of my go-to meals that I'd have most days of the week, to be honest. Really cheap, really simple and easy to make, and I personally love the taste of tuna. And I don't like most fish. I like tuna and I like prawns. I would never eat salmon or cod, and I feel like salmon and cod are meant to be like the nicer kind of fish, but personally hate those and I go for like the cheaper fish. Okay, enough chat about fish. So in my last YouTube video I spoke to you about how I was about to change up my workout routine for a couple of reasons, and I thought for today's video that I could sit down, have a chat to you about why I'm changing it, and more importantly how you can change your own routine and make your own training routine to suit what you want, because I feel like it would be a little bit more helpful for me to show you how to do it yourselves and like the little steps I take to make my own routine instead of just showing you what I do, because I know what I do won't suit everybody. So that's the idea for today's vid. I am also going to be training upper body again later. Pretty sure in my last vlog I trained upper body too, but look, this is just how my days are falling right now. I promise in my next vid I'll make it a lower body day, but today it's going to be upper. I'm training with Danielle tonight. I got my lashes done this morning and I'm really liking them. I went for a bit of a fuller look. Speaking of lashes as well, gals, and just makeup in general, I was thinking of recording like a get ready with me video where I show you how I do my makeup and my hair, my tan and like all those girly things. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see, because I know this channel is obviously like mostly fitness based, but that's also a huge part of what I do, like makeup and hair and tan and girly things like that. So let me know if you'd like to see a get ready with me video and I can show you the products I use. I literally just got the best news ever. Victoria just texted me to say she booked us flights to Amsterdam. I have never been to Amsterdam and I've always wanted to go there. We're going on the 12th of December, which is literally like 3 weeks away. I cannot wait. So she said she wants us to do like the Christmas markets and like the boat trip on the canals and things like that. So as I said, I've never been to Amsterdam, but if any of you have been there or live there, please let me know recommendations in the comment section, because I cannot wait. But we are going to have the best time. What an absolute angel. Vicky, I know you're watching this. Thanks honey, love you. Anyway guys, let's get into the main purpose of this video, which is speaking all about training routines, when to change them up, how to change them up, and how to write your own training routine basically. As I mentioned in my last video, my gym just got a lot of new equipment for both upper body and lower body, and my training routine came to a point where I just felt I needed to change it up. I don't change my training routine often at all. On that one, I was probably on the same routine for around 16 weeks, if not more, probably 16 to 20 weeks. And it was only then that I felt the need to change it up, really. So that is one like massive misconception that a lot of people get when they start training, that they think they need to have new workouts all the time, that each time they go they should have a different routine. And it's honestly the opposite of that. You need to find a routine that suits you and stick to that and incorporate progressive overload and don't change anything about it for weeks, because that's a much more effective way to train. So whenever I'm about to change up my training routine, I always ask myself a couple of questions. First question I would ask myself is, what is my goal? What kind of physique am I looking to achieve? Do I want to only focus on my lower body? Do I want a balanced physique? Do I want to grow my shoulders? Is there a specific look you are working towards? Because that will play a huge role in how you shape your routine. Personally for me, I want to have a balanced, proportionate physique. I've always been slightly bigger on my lower body just genetically, but I still give my lower body and my upper body the exact same attention. So that's what brought me to my current split, which is an upper lower rest split. That means I'm giving both my upper body and my lower body the exact same amount of attention, the same amount of work, the same amount of recovery. Of course that will result in a more balanced physique, which is the goal for me right now. I also started focusing a lot more on my intensity, and I remember when I started training I used to always worry about, oh, what specific exercise should I be doing and what routine should I be doing and what's this girl doing because I want to look like that, instead of actually focusing on progressing the lifts that I already had in my routine. So that was a big change for me this year. I kind of really peeled it back, focused on the basics and made sure my intensity in every single set, in every session, was unmatched. You can have the fanciest routine, you can have the best coach, but if you're not pushing yourself in every single set, in every session, then you're wasting your time. So that's one huge tip. Before we even get into speaking about routines, your intensity is honestly much more important than the actual routine itself, I believe. If you have a fairly well-structured routine and if you're giving your utmost in every single session, you won't need to change it up at all. So as I said, first question, I always ask myself, what is my goal? What do I want to look like? And the frequency in your training routine should reflect that. If you are looking for a well-balanced physique, then I would personally recommend an upper-lower split. The second question I always ask myself is, what machines do I have access to? And the machines that are there, do I connect well with them? Are they a good setup for me? So as I mentioned, in my gym we did just get a lot of new machinery, and I've been kind of playing around with it this week just to see what feels good, if it's a good setup for how I am. It's mostly hammer strength machines in my gym, which are in general a very good setup for a lot of people, but just because one person loves one machine for a certain movement doesn't mean it's going to feel as good for you. If you're a beginner as well, guys, make sure to try out different machines before you put a routine in place, because you need to become comfortable with the machines in your gym before implementing them into your routine. Try them out, see what feels good for you, because we are all made very biomechanically different. Another thing that I always do when I am changing up my routine is I write down my compounds first. So for example, if I'm trying to restructure my lower body day, I will always have some form of deadlift or squat, leg press and hip thrust. Those are 3 exercises that no matter what, whenever I am training, these will be in my routine. For upper body, those exercises would be something like a shoulder press, a lat pull down and a row. The compounds are compounds for a reason, and they should always be in your routine. When I started training, I was obsessed with like accessory work and exercises that like looked really cool and were unusual, whereas I quickly learned that a lot of these exercises aren't as effective as your old sturdy compound movements, as I said, such as squats, deadlifts, hip thrusts, presses, rows, lat pull downs. No matter what kind of routine you're doing, you need to have these as the foundation of your plan. Another thing you need to consider when you are writing out your workout routine is if you have any genetic weak points. So for me, my quads and my lower body wouldn't be my strongest point, so I always start my leg days with something like a quad extension. For my upper body, I'll always start my upper body sessions with a shoulder press, because those are the muscle groups that I'm focusing on bringing up the most. One bit of advice is, when you are writing your routine, make sure to keep these movements at the start of your workout, because that's obviously when you have the most to give. That's when you're going to feel your strongest, and that's when your muscle groups won't be fatigued yet. So as I said, if you have a weak point you want to bring up, like me with my quads, I'll always start with quad isolation. And for my upper body, my shoulders wouldn't necessarily be a weak point, but it's a muscle group that I really want to work on improving. So just keep that in mind when you are planning out when to do each exercise when you get to the gym. Another piece of advice that you guys have to keep in mind when making your routine is to be realistic with yourself. Everybody's schedule will be different. Everyone has a different amount of things to do each day. Some people have kids, some people have college, some people have a really hectic work life, and you need to be realistic when you're writing out your routine and make a routine that will actually suit your lifestyle, as opposed to you trying to follow like a 5 or 6 day workout plan when realistically you can only commit to 3 days a week. I know so many people that do like 3 day workout splits, stick to their meal plan during the week and get absolutely unbelievable results. So don't feel like you have to be working out every single day if that's not realistic for your lifestyle. I've seen it happen where people say, oh, I can definitely train 6 times per week. Then they get 4 out of the 6 sessions done. Then the following week they're trying to compensate for missing the other 2 sessions, and they're changing up their routine all the time to compensate for missed sessions. Whereas it's actually much more effective to just be realistic with yourself. How many times can you go? And then find a routine to suit the amount of times you can go, so that you don't have to change it up every week. Because when you're changing your routine and trying to compensate, you're not going to progress with your lifts. And probably the most important piece of advice that I could give you in this video or in any of my videos is to get yourself a logbook, be consistent, and incorporate progressive overload into your program. You're probably blue in the face from hearing me say this at this point, but it's just so important, guys. No matter what routine you have, you need to be focusing on improving your numbers, because this is what will get you the results. There is no specific exercise, there is no specific routine that will magically change your body more than just improving your numbers as you go along. So with my own new routines, I'm going to have upper lower rest, upper lower rest. So it's the exact same split, it's just I'm going to be changing up the exercises slightly. So with my upper lower days, I have upper A, upper B, and then I have lower A and lower B, and they're constantly rotating. So even though I am repeating my sessions, it's not the exact same one every week, if that makes sense. There's like a little rotation in them. So I wrote out my first rotation last night. I have upper A and lower A written out. I am going to be showing you my upper A session tonight. As I said, I'm training with Danielle later, and I can bring you through that full session just so you get a taste for how I structure my workouts, and I can show you the lower A workout routine later this week as well when I'm training legs. So those were just some tips that I jotted down while I was writing my own routine last night that I thought you guys might find helpful, especially if you're kind of new to the gym and just starting to kind of do things on your own. But anyway guys, I need to go down and have my pre-workout meal and get ready for the gym, so I'll see you in a few. But anyway, my pre-workout meal is just about to go down. I'm keeping it very simple today. I'm going to have some oats, eggs, and I'm also going to have some pump product from Ghost because I'm training later than usual today and the pump doesn't have any caffeine in it. I know if I had caffeine at this hour I would literally be awake all night, so I'm going to have the pump instead. So my sleep for the last while has been absolutely atrocious, like the worst it's ever been, so I'm not too sure what to expect of today's session, but regardless of that I am still hitting my macros and nothing else has changed. It's just my sleep is atrocious, so I'm hoping that it doesn't affect my sessions too much. That's another reason I purposely kind of left my session until nighttime, because you'll have a little bit more energy in the evening after all your meals, and I'll obviously be super tired after the gym, so I'm hoping that will help me with the sleep thing. But anyway, I need to get changed and get to the gym and bang out a session. Let's go. Hi honey. Yeah. I have to get hot water. Hello, my little poof. So we made a rule. Oh, bless you. We made a rule that Oscar is not allowed on the couch, but he's actually been up here every single night since I moved in. What's wrong? What is it? You want to come up? Come on. Again. Anyway guys, that is my workout done. Really good upper body session went down with Danielle, and having her there today made such a big difference. I just feel like sometimes, even though most of the time I do like training on my own, I think it's nice to have someone there from time to time to push you when you need it. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.